We want to bring in another guest who is not sitting next to me, but a guest you've seen on our show before, John Sauro, who is president of North Atlantic Mortgage Corporation. John, welcome.
Thanks, Kathleen. How are you?
So tell me what you think of the president's proposals, the key points, and how much they're going to do for the mortgage market broadly and for individual homeowners.
Well, Kathleen, I think the president really needed to step up politically due to the pressure that the Democrats and that he's getting from the general public to do something. But, you know, if we go back to the meetings with Secretary Paulson a couple of weeks ago, they really believe that this was overblown and exaggerated. And you know that I've been saying that for a long time as well. But I think the time has come that the president had to step up publicly and do some political posturing, because otherwise the Democrats are going to take this right to the election, and he didn't want to see that happen. Now, you know,
well, let's look at go ahead, John. Finish your thought.
Well, what I was going to say was, as far as the initiatives that the president put forth today and how much that's really going to help the situation, let's be mindful of the fact that, again, the amount of subprime loans we're talking about statistically is really a sliver of a sliver of a sliver, and he said it himself that it really, compared to the overall economy, is very, very modest. And what the initiatives are tax incentives, such as eliminating the tax debt. If you're foreclosed on, you would have to pay the taxes on the difference between the mortgage amount and what the bank sold the house for. And that's like, you know, kicking somebody when they're down. So, you know, I think that's a great idea. I think that should have been done anyway. And the expansion of the FHA programs is also all a good idea. The big question really is going to be is how fast is all of this going to trickle down to the general consumer?
Well, I guess the question is, too, does this send the right signal, John? Does it send a signal that there are parts of the mortgage market that were rigged against people who hold mortgages that need to be changed? Does it send a signal that if you make a bad choice and you need some help, the government's going to step in and back you up? Might be other people want to step up to the plate and say, hey, I could use a little help too. You're
so right, and I agree with that entirely. You know, if this is the case, should we go back to 2001 and bail out the people who invested in the risky .com stocks? Because that's what we should do then. You know, if you've made a bad choice, if you've been a speculative investor and you went out there and you bought an investment home and you made a bad choice on a mortgage, should we bail you out? No, I don't think so. However, you know, with that said, you've got a lot of people in the business that may have taken advantage of some of these people as well, and that's not a good thing. But I think the initiatives going forward with HUD would hopefully straighten that out.
John, update us on the mortgage market since the discount rate cut on August 17th and Ben Bernanke's speech this morning showing that the Fed is clearly looking at whether or not they're going to need to cut interest rates instead of saying probably not. It's will we? Is that helping the credit markets? Is that helping the mortgage market?
I think what's helping the mortgage markets is that a little more time has gone by where a lot of the lenders have now restructured some of their underwriting guidelines to do less risky loans, to go back to more of a standard underwriting guideline from years ago. They're not going to do the very risky stated income, stated assets, no income check loans. But let me clarify something. There's a lot of misinformation out there as well. I'm hearing people saying that you can't get a jumbo loan even if you're a good borrower. That is clearly not true. We're arranging jumbo loans every single day. Also, I'm hearing that you can't get it without a sizable down payment. That's not true either. You could still do small down payments as well.
Just kind of speaking to the amount of hysteria and maybe a little bit of hype we're hearing out there. John Sauro, thanks for clearing up that for us as well. Appreciate it.
Sure.
Up next, we're